Marcus, and now has its home here at Casa Ford. Our hope is that Casa feels like home, and wonderful artwork makes me feel at home, especially artwork that reflects our beautiful borderland community and the culture that we came from, and especially when it's from an El Pasoan who's a close friend and dearly loved. Hal really wanted to be here. As recently as about a month or 6 weeks ago, he was convinced, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna make it. I don't know if I'll be in a wheelchair or what the situation will be, but I'm gonna be there. And I thought, in a way he is. Before he passed, he said, I'm just leaving this body, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna stop being an artist. He said, I think I'm gonna be 1,000 times more powerful whenever I'm free from it. And so in some way, I just thought we could all pause and take a moment of silence and maybe just remember a particular moment that we got to enjoy with Hal. And in that way, we'll bring his spirit back. Thank you all. I'd like to turn the microphone over to Lelenia from the Sunset Parlor. This is Hal's daughter. She's the CEO and founder of the Sunset Parlor and also the gallery manager. And she's here to tell you a little bit about the mural itself. And also Patricia is welcome to join us, Hal's wife. And she has a special recognition that was just presented this week in Congress and then here locally by our Representative Escobar. And so I'll turn the mic over to them. Thank you.
Thank you all. It's wonderful to see so many people, especially those that we didn't have a chance to visit with before, or that you all were not able to make it to the funeral, because I know it came so quickly. Thank you. All right. Yes, as Luke mentioned, our representative put into the record in Washington, D.C. last week, I think it was on Wednesday, a piece on Hal, and we have it up here at our cash register over here in store at the end of the walk over here. So you all are welcome to look at it. Very meaningful for us, and I know that each one of you has a special relationship with Hal, and so I'm glad that you opened with us all remembering him in our own special way. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to my awesome stepdaughter, Lilania.
Thank you, Patricia. So I'm going to talk about the painting, like my dad would talk about it, because that's what he would have done if he was here. So he painted this painting in the 90s, 1993. And he was inspired by his best friend at the time, Randy Lindbergh. He said, why don't you paint the first Thanksgiving that happened here in El Paso before Plymouth Rock? The first Thanksgiving happened in the 1500s here in El Paso, in our beautiful homeland. And it was a beautiful Thanksgiving of gathering and unity. So if you look, all these people here coming together around food, with the fish from the Rio Grande, from the squash, from the watermelon. There used to be lots of food that would grow here because the Rio Grande was going. It was like flowing through this water. And so people would come together and share the food with their tortillas and the tamales. He even has some little bees in here. There's probably a cockroach. Yeah, there's a cockroach. He liked to put in the realism of the situation, right? So everyone came together, and the people here, they were called the Humanos tribe. Sounds a lot like the humans, right? The Humanos. And so it's just a bunch of humans getting together and sharing their culture, sharing their knowledge in joy and celebration. And over here in the corner is the Spanish influence that we have, the conquistadors. And then we have the Christian Judeo influence here with Jesus, and he's in a field of wheat, which you hardly ever see. And then you have the people working the field, and then the crows or the ravens flying through. And the raven is my father's spirit animal. So if you ever hear a crow or a raven in your vicinity, that's him saying hello and reminding you to do art every day. right? Remind you that life is art. So start living it. Start living the art of life. So we have this influence. And then over here we have Cuauhtemoc. And he was the last emperor, Aztec emperor that we had. And the conquistadors actually came through and tortured him and burned his feet and said, show us the gold, give us the gold. And he said, you don't understand, the gold isn't something I can give you. The gold is in our hearts. And they didn't understand that, but that was like when he would tell that story, that's the story that would really come into my heart, is that the gold is in our hearts. And the gold is the celebration we have for life and in the honoring we have for life itself. And so when he passed away, he said, I will return in 500 years, and I will be the new sun, the new light in 500 years. And that was about 10 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago. And so here we have that sun. We are the city of the sun, right? So we have the sun. And it is that reminding us to always go into the light of life, not the darkness. Always go towards the light. And then up here we have Quetzalcoatl, the mythological rendition of the winged serpent. And this is the Mayan influence of Quetzalcoatl coming through, like the mythology that holds us all together, that's underneath everything we see in the physical world, bringing it forward. And if you see here, my father, his whole publishing company, since he was like in his 20s, was Paso al Sol. So that still goes forward with the books that he has with Luke. And so it's pass through the sun, pass through the light, like let the light lead your life. And if you see in his, the mouth is a piñata. So he just put it there as an artist's rendition. But I think, this is my personal interpretation, is that it's breaking the silence of that imprisons us. Like, we speak about our culture and beauty, and El Paso has such a beautiful culture, and this painting really brings that together. It has like the celebration, the food, the mariachis are somewhere in here. Mariachis, the Dias de los Muertos. We have the whole like religious part coming here with the Indians dancing in the mountains. You see the Indians up here dancing in the mountains. You have the angel, you have the devil, you have the Indians and the cowboys, you have the downtown. So there's so much in this painting that is of our culture. And especially at this time, it's really important to remember who we are as a people and who we are as a culture. And El Paso is all about unity, and we're the most friendly people in the world. Like, look at us. We're all different ages, different cultures, different religions, and we come together because we love life and we love supporting what makes us strong and puts the gold in our heart. So to me, that's what this painting is all about. So thank you so much for giving it a new home and being the best friend for my father. So thank you so much.
That was beautiful. Your dad would be so proud. Well, that's exactly what he did. But we put it up here a few months ago. We were on our hands and knees around, stapling in each piece and put it up, and he just did the same thing that you did and told all the history. So it was really beautiful. Thank you for carrying his legacy forward.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite Dr. Duncan Earl up next to share a bit of history with us. This was really important for Hal as well. He said it's important for people to understand the history, and he was fortunate to have one of his best friends, Duncan, who married Hal's first wife, and so they spent decades together raising families and loving each other. But this man is especially knowledgeable in the history represented here in all of Mesoamerica, as well as being gifted in a variety of other ways. But he's going to offer us a little bit of historical perspective on the first Thanksgiving here.
Thank you so much, Luke, and be sure to give me the...
I will.
Oh, the mic.
Okay, cool.
All right, so I can wander around. Yes, Hal pulled me aside 2 months ago or so when he said this was going to happen, and he wanted me to talk something about the history of this place. And like Hal, I'm a bit of a rebel, and so I am going to talk a little about the history, but I'm also going to talk a little about Hal. And how Hal is so brilliant at showing rather than telling. As an academic, you know, we have the gift of gab, and we're all about telling and telling and telling until the audience goes away. Whereas Hal had that wonderful ability to draw people in with the visual, sometimes very clear what he was saying, and sometimes it takes a little, you know, where's Waldo work to fish out all the history that he's presenting. But like great Mesoamerican art, like, for example, the first page of the Codex, the Aztec Codex that he also painted a copy of, there's all of this information all piled together in his paintings that make them rich and make them speak across historical times. What I titled my talk was The Rites of Gratitude as Rituals of Integration. Now, doesn't that sound really academic? But what I'm really saying, and my theme today, is that it's not only a celebration of all of this history and all of these different people, it's a celebration of how celebration itself brings us together, just like today. And you will see in his painting as you go around it, there's tons of different kinds of celebrations going on, right down to the little birthday in the middle where the two kids are whacking the piñata. And it's all of this celebratory activity that, you know, he said, it's a tale of integration, depicts a border mix of languages, cultures, foods, colors, and hues, tones, and tunes, and of course, people and places. What's around us here now, as well as back then, because he's a visual chronologist of this unique place. A visual chronologist of this very unique place. So, from the very earliest Spanish arrivals, the Thanksgiving they had was not shut up in someone's house or in a church or in a private spot. It was a public event. It was an open party, right? It's a party that to draw people in, not to segregate people out. And I would maintain that this open party was what I call the Hal Marcus party theory of overcoming barriers of cultures and languages.
That's academic.
Yeah, that's very academic, thank you. So, was this the first Thanksgiving? Oh, in Florida, there's a claim that there was a meal that went down earlier. And I don't really personally care whether this was first in the nation, because it's first for us. And as Thomas Jefferson, who by the way opposed a national Thanksgiving, he thought all Thanksgiving should be state and local. For us, this is our local Thanksgiving, and it has all the qualities that we would expect. It was a party that was inclusive. Different people brought different foods and shared them together. We had different languages going on and different beliefs, and people were overlooking those differences because they were joined in this festive ritual, this festive activity. They had a play, just like we're going to have some dancing shortly. They had a play. We don't know the actual transcript of the play, but we know that it was a reenactment of the travails of crossing the deserts of Chihuahua, and it enlisted some of the local Indians, the local native people, to play themselves in this play. So they were actually on stage. They were not just at the margins. And you will notice in his paintings all over, the native people are on stage. They're not just at the margins. So whether this is the first for the country, this is the start for us of a long history of rites of gratitude as rituals of integration. In other words, parties whereby we come closer and come to understand each other's better. That's why this is not a static image behind me. This is a moving thing going on, like the river, like the air, like the flying birds. It keeps moving. It keeps weaving a new history, standing on top of or integrated with our old history. It's a living document. It's not just something stuck there in time on the wall in 1993. I'm sure that is precisely why it made some people who are not from around here nervous, and why, in fact, it had to experience an exodus in order to find its new home. The Pharaoh de jour sent it away, and it found its promised land. Thank you, Luke. So Hal's depicting of the past is about the present via metaphor. No doubt this fact has something to do with his exodus, as I said. And we should not, if that is an upsetting fact, let us transform the upsettingness of that fact into what Hal would want. It's the will to love beyond our comfort spot. It's the will to care for the stranger, to care for someone in need who we don't maybe yet know, to let more love into our hearts and thereby let more of other kinds of thoughts, people, feelings, experiences, areas. Let all of that diversity into our hearts as well. Hal would want me to say that. So, yes, it's a thanks be to God that this place, this mix of people would prosper by the strength to be found in inclusion, of mix, of biculturalism, of a new mestizaje. Let us not be ticked off by this migration of painting location. Let us take our feelings and turn it to will, that the community is ready to step up and answer with celebration, with fiesta. Gracias a Dios. It is the measure of the truth Hal painted. So let us remember to thank Hal in our Thanksgivings. Spring Thanksgivings or fall Thanksgivings or both. For thanks for all that he has given and shows us here a fiesta for the eyes, a history for the telling, a wondrous and magical place to live. Seen plus heart equals Hal's art. It seeks to unlock our hearts, to embrace our differences, be curious about what as yet we don't know, and in our joy, see full humanity in all people. Gracias a Dios. So here is the message for all to see. A first and forever fiesta of gratitude for all parts and peoples of the border, and loving rendition of its bumpy, amazing history, and of course, its fiestas. Colorful rites of outreach across borders, one of integration of difference, like this one here today. I hope you approve, Hal, wherever you are. Send us a sign. Thank you.
Early Texas art, Hal Marcus became the go-to person in El Paso, representing so many El Paso artists, from Manuel Acosta to Jose Cisneros to Tom Lee was one of them. And so I've been asked today to read a quote from Tom Lee from the closest thing he did of an autobiography. He said his work was his autobiography. So I'm going to read these couple of paragraphs to you. It has always seemed to me that I was fortunate in being born on the border in a town where two nations and two peoples meet, where more than one mode of life and one mode of thought are in constant confrontation to test and to broaden and to deepen one's view of the world. At Paso del Norte, I believe men are reminded daily that human beings do not all speak one tongue, all share in one fine set of aims and ideals, all conform to one established pattern of conduct, or all accept one definition of the good life or the bad or the purpose in it. Mexico and Mexicans, the flavor of the Spanish language, the manners and customs and attitudes of the people, the particular character and color and vitality that distinguishes their land, seem to be a fairly constant and natural and enlivening part of my life.
These four cultures, the native, Spanish, Mexican, and Western American, have blended here in the El Paso River Valley to create the modern-day city of El Paso. This mural that Hal created embodies that vibrant cultural mix. It helps us to understand who we are as a city and a people.
Beautiful, thank you. I'm going to wrap up with a poem written by Benjamin Alire Sainz, who is an award-winning El Paso poet, who wrote this for this occasion and unfortunately was unable to be here with us to recite it, but I'm going to on his behalf. He's the winner of the Penn Faulkner Award and also the American Book Award. The title of the poem Dear Hal, in my quiet moments, I let myself sit here and think. Writers do that, and so do artists. And lately, I've been thinking of you. I've always wondered what it cost you, the price you paid, not only to survive the art world, a world that can be cruel, and you, Hal, you not only survived, but brilliantly succeeded in what we call life. And if living was an art, then you were Picasso. Hal, you left us with a legacy we will always have with us. You gave us a piece of your heart. Heart cannot live without art. Art makes us laugh, makes us cry, makes us feel. Art makes us think. Art touches us and makes us want to touch. In a world that gives us exile, art gives us belonging. Art is a language that needs no translation. Art is quiet and intimate. Art makes us yearn for our lost innocence. In a violent world, art gives us a dream of peace. Art sets us free from our self-made prisons. Art is a sky full of birds in flight. In a world where death seems to have the final word, art makes us immortal. You know these things. You know these things. You know. Art is a pair of hands painting in the night, in the memories of our ancestors. Art is the rain that breaks through the drought. Art is the paradise of the human imagination. Art is the rain that breaks through the droughts. I send you this, my morning prayer. I can claim nothing in this world except the beauty of the day and my wounded heart that is leaning toward the light and will lean that way forever. Hal, you have entered the world of light. Our hearts will be leaning towards you. Thank you. Thank you, Benjamin Sines, for that poem. Thank you, David Mills and the Eden Performing Artists. Thank you, Valentin and Power at the Past, for all your contributions and recordings. Thank you, Duncan, for the history, and a special thanks to Lilenia and Patricia and the family, everybody at the Hal Marcus Gallery, which has a pop-up store here in the showroom today. So before you leave, the best thing you can do to honor Hal is go buy one of his paintings, buy one of his prints, buy one of our books, take it home and enjoy it, and always carry him and his spirit of peace and love with you. We also have plenty of food and drinks thanks to our friends at Cafe Mayapan. Please continue to support them and enjoy, and you're welcome to stick around and enjoy as long as you like. Thank you for being here today.